Hey everybody, I'm Cokeman250, and you're watching Positively Preparing, the channel that allows you to come with me on my preparedness journey to see the things that I'm doing to help my family live a more self-sufficient and frugal lifestyle. Maybe we can learn something together. Let's do this.
We're digging out a water pressure regulator, and it's gone bad. Anyway, the people who put this thing in decided they were just going to put it on and bury it in the ground. They didn't put any kind of box around it or anything, so I'm going to cut the bottom out of a 5-gallon bucket, and that's what we're going to use for the box once we get this thing all dug up. See, I got a root right here I'm fixing to cut out, and then we're going to get it dug out and revealed. Alright, so I got it all uncovered, got a space down underneath, fixing to turn the water off and go inside and drain the lines. See if we can't break this thing loose. Probably been in the ground about 20 years. That's about whenever all these houses up here on the mountain went over to county water instead of each individual house having a well. Now, I'm the last person on this line, public water line. But anyway,
Next step.
alright, so I just got back from the at least one trip to the hardware store while you're doing anything when you have a utility shut off at your house. And I got a couple 3/4 inch nipples here, slip joint to the nipple. So what I'm going to do, this thing has been in the ground for about 15 or 20, about 20 years, so I'm going to just cut the PVC off each end here, and we're going to glue it in. And I'm afraid it's going to break something on into the ground the way I keep twisting on this thing. So anyway, we're just going to glue it, and we're going to cut this thing out of here. So I'm going to get this old piece out of here, and then we'll come back. Pour out. Alright, so after trip 2 to the hardware store, I went and I picked up 2 of these, and these are schedule 80 nipples. I got it back, and in that last picture I showed I had just 2 regular PVC schedule 40 on each end of the regulator. And I got to thinking about it. You got schedule 80 coming from the meter to the front of the regulator because there's so much more pressure, and then it regulates it down so it don't blow the pipes out of your house, and then it goes into regular schedule 40. So I went and picked up a schedule 80 fitting there for the end just to be on the safe side. Schedule 40 would probably been okay, but I wanted to make sure because I don't want to mess with this thing for another 20 years. Anyway, we're gonna get a bucket put around this thing with a lid, so we can access this thing a lot easier next time. And also I'm going to do a separate video on how to set the water pressure. This is automatically set at 50 pounds, but I'm going to up it to about, I want to go somewhere around 60, 65. I don't have a pressure gauge right now, so I'm going to get a pressure gauge, and then I'll show you how you set this thing, the regulator, to whatever PSI you want coming out of it. So if you can't find your pressure regulator, and I looked for this thing for a while because I don't have a box like this, like should be here in front. And if it's not in your garage and it's not in your crawl space, it's probably going to be about a foot in front of your meter. Just start digging and you're going to find it. But I think that's it. Trying to think, because the problem I had was locating it, And then once I located it, really it was pretty general, you know. You pretty much cut the old one out and put a new one in. But you can see one side of this has a brass union and the other side doesn't. And you pick what side you want that brass union on. I picked the meter side so that I could unscrew it from there and I could cut from this side if I had to. Schedule 40 pipe's cheaper, and there's a whole lot more of it underground here than meter wise. So the more and more I cut that schedule 80, the closer it gets to the meter. Pretty soon I'll have to just take that piece of pipe out and replace it with a new piece over the years. And like I said, these things are rated to last 15 to 20 years. So realistically, maybe a couple more times in my life, since I'm going to live to be 105, should be about all I need to do this. But anyway, I want to cut off this end because schedule 40 is cheaper. So and fittings for schedule 40 is a lot cheaper. But anyway, I guess that's it. So this is pretty much installing a water pressure regulator or switching one out. And I'm also going to do a video about taking that pressure regulator, the old one, apart and showing you what's on the inside. It's pretty rough looking. I'm surprised I was getting any water at all through it. But I'll link both of those videos as soon as they get made to this video. So anyway, this is Cokeman 250 from the land of the free and the home of the brave. God bless everybody. And remember, prep smarter and pray harder.
All right, so I got a couple of my favorite videos here. Lighting and using the Perfection heater right there on the left. And then right there on the right's a part one of a 3-part series of cleaning out my big barn. I'm transforming that into a wood shop here on the homestead. And if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click that subscribe now banner right there in the middle. And you guys have a blessed day.